not only does my agent know this, my representative know this better than the person we're calling, they're protecting me. They are, doing what's in my best interest, whereas this person simply wants to keep charging me over a long period of time. So these people are not helpful. It takes 20 minutes to get to a person. And quite frankly, this is why we encourage you to know at least the basics on all these programs, because sometimes they might give you bad information. Now, important to know, 3 sources of financial aid. And this will come back to us again after lunch. All of the financial aid will come from one of these 3 places, either the federal government, about 85%, the college you attend, which is actually not happening really anymore. They used to call them Perkins loans, and yeah.
I did finally come across one of those.
You did?
Help the teacher out with it, yeah.
I was telling Chuck a few months ago, I've sat with hundreds of people, I've seen like 6 of them.
Yeah.
Perkins loans, they just don't exist. They're very rare. That means the school actually financed the loan. So the school had extra money and they gave that money to the student. That money dries up pretty quick, and they're usually smaller loans, so it doesn't happen that often. And then the other problem we see a lot of is maybe 10% of loans are private. Wells Fargo is actually the 2nd largest student loan financier in the country. Now, they've got only 10% of the loans, but they have a lot of big loans. They have a lot of lawyers and doctors and administrators and a lot of graduate degrees too. Wells Fargo loans are not eligible for loan forgiveness. So what this really means is, if our teachers have this, right now as it stands, 2015, last year, we do not have a solution for that as a company. We realize that there's a problem here. You've got private debt. I've ran into somebody that, she's like, I have 60 grand in private debt, but I've only got 8 grand left in federal debt. I've been paying the federal debt down. It's like, really? I'm so sorry. We can't do anything for your 60 grand, but that 8 grand, again, I don't want to say it ruins the conversation, but there's an opportunity for us as a company to step up and find a way to help these people. And that's really what we'll talk about after lunch. But important to know, no 2 loans are the same. This slide, I'm pretty quick with it in the presentations. These programs have been around for 10 plus years. Anybody that's graduated recently, a lot of the schools talk about the teacher loan forgiveness.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Let's make sure with this group we clarify like we did yesterday on 5 years.
Sure. Yeah. Teacher loan forgiveness. It's very simple, very straightforward. 5 years, Title I school, 5 consecutive years, Title I school, and you'll get $5,000 in forgiveness.
It doesn't have to be a Title I school for all 5 years, right?
That's exactly correct.
Okay.
Now, the first year of your 5 years needs to be a Title I school. Let's say you're in that school. I'm in Ohio University, not university, I'm in Ohio Elementary School, and it's a Title I school. I start this year. Next year, it's not a Title I school. It falls off the database. I can still teach that for 4 more years and get my same 5-year forgiveness. Now, and that's in the fine print on the teacher loan forgiveness application. The misconception I've heard from a lot of people is, if I leave that school, am I still able to get forgiveness? The answer is yes, if you switch to a Title I school. Some clarification, you may have heard that if you teach 1 year in a Title I school and then you switch to some other school that's not Title I, that you might be able to continue that. That is not the case. If you leave that Title I school, you're no longer eligible yet.
What if you stay in the district? So like CPS is 99% Title I, there's a couple buildings that aren't. But I thought it said on the application if your district is Title I.
It's a fine line, really. In those cases, I encourage you to apply. Apply. The worst thing that can happen, it's kind of like if you check if the noodle's done, you throw it on the ceiling. They may do that. My wife does. There's nothing negative that can happen from applying and not getting it, except it took 10 days or 15 days to get that. I've seen it go both ways, really. I've seen some people say, I worked in the high school, it's not Title I, the elementary school is, I applied and was denied. I've seen other people say it's a Title I district, every school in the district is Title I applied and I got it. So quite frankly, I would just encourage you to have them apply if it makes sense. There are a lot of people that teacher loan forgiveness is not going to be good for.
Can we go ahead and take a 10-minute break?
We can take a 10-minute break, how about that?
Take a 10-minute break, do a potty break, whatever.